At 60, Princess Diana's sister breaks down in tears and finally confirms the rumors. Did you know that the woman who played one of the most pivotal roles in Princess Diana's life just revealed something shocking? Meet Lady Sarah McCorquodale, Diana's older sister and closest confidant, who profoundly impacted her life, and even set in motion events that changed Diana's destiny forever. Born Elizabeth Sarah Lavinia Spencer on March 19, 1955, Sarah wasn't just a sister. She was Diana's rock. But here's the twist. She was also the one who, in many ways, set Diana's struggles in motion. Now, at 60, Sarah has confirmed the rumors surrounding Diana's life. What were these rumors, and how did Sarah shape the life of the most beloved princess in history? Stay tuned, and let's uncover the truth together. Her life was a whirlwind marked by titles and challenges. After her father became the 8th Earl Spencer in 1975, she was granted the noble title, the Honorable, and soon adopted the title, Lady. Many assume Lady Sarah grew up with a life of privilege and ease, but that's far from the whole story. Behind the title was a young woman facing her own battles, including a devastating struggle with an eating disorder in early adulthood. This challenge took a toll on her social life in ways that few could imagine. We'll reveal all the details, but first, let's take it from the beginning. After finishing her education at Riddlesworth Hall and West Heath boarding school, Lady Sarah moved to London to pursue a career. Surprisingly, her life was more down to earth than you might expect for someone of her status. She lived a relatively ordinary life by aristocratic standards, but her connection to Princess Diana made her a target. Those seeking to undermine Diana often set their sights on Sarah, hoping to exploit the sisters' close bond. Yet, Sarah remained a steadfast ally, even if it meant defying the royal family. When Diana's marriage hit a crisis, it was Sarah who became her strongest support, giving Diana the courage to stand up for herself. In many ways, Sarah was the quiet hero behind Diana's victories, a true knight who helped her sister face one of her greatest battles against Prince Charles. Lady Sarah was a crucial figure in Princess Diana's life, inspiring and motivating her to tackle her royal duties with enthusiasm. She stood by Diana's side during her most challenging moments, offering steadfast support and guidance. Even when rumors swirled around Diana at a fever pitch, Sarah's loyalty never wavered, and after Diana's tragic passing, she remained dedicated to preserving her sister's legacy. Sarah embodies Diana's spirit, continuing the causes Diana championed. A woman this influential has a remarkable story to tell, don't you think? Well, you're right. So, stay tuned as we uncover the life of Lady Sarah and reveal how Diana's closest ally became part of the mystery surrounding her untimely death. It's well known that Neil McCorquodale is the love of Lady Sarah's life. But did you know she was almost in line to become Queen of England? That's right. Before Diana, Lady Sarah herself had a brief romance with Prince Charles. Their relationship, however, was short-lived, and when it ended, Sarah made headlines with her famous declaration that she wouldn't marry Charles if he were the dustman or the King of England. Despite the breakup, she remained within Charles's social circle in a surprising way. She was the one who introduced him to her younger sister, Diana. Little did anyone know that this introduction would alter the course of Diana's life and the royal family's forever. Before diving into one of England's most enduring mysteries, let's get to know the Princess of Wales a bit better. Princess Diana, born Diana Frances Spencer on July 1, 1961, was the fourth of 5 children in the prominent Spencer family. She spent her early years at Park House on the Sandringham estate in Norfolk, where she grew up close to the royal family. Diana's grandmother served as a lady-in-waiting to the Queen Mother, and young Diana often played with Prince Andrew and Prince Edward during the royal family's visits. Though Diana's surroundings were prestigious, her childhood was not free of hardship. Her parents had a turbulent relationship, strained by societal pressure on her mother to produce a male heir. This pressure took a toll, and they eventually divorced when Diana was just 7. She stayed with her father, who later became Earl Spencer, but life in the family estate wasn't a fairy tale. Diana's relationship with her stepmother, Reine, the Countess of Dartmouth, was fraught with tension. Like a modern Cinderella story, they lived under the same roof, but faced constant compromise in a household that held more conflict than comfort. So, when did Diana's life begin its downward spiral? It all began in 1977 when her sister, Lady Sarah, introduced her to Prince Charles. Diana was just 16 at the time, and Charles, 12 years her senior, quickly became enamored with her. Soon, they began dating, and the course of her life was forever altered. In 1981, the world watched as Diana married Charles, catapulting her from a young aristocrat to one of the most famous women on the planet. But was this fairy tale wedding the start of a dream or a tragedy? Stay tuned to uncover the true story behind the princess's rise and fall. Want to hear something ironic? When Prince Charles ended things with Diana's older sister, he saw Diana's innocence and charm as refreshing. He thought this sweet young woman would never hurt him, and even if she wanted to, she'd be too gentle to try. Meanwhile, 19-year-old Diana was swept away, believing Charles was her knight in shining armor, the protector of her dreams. If only they could go back in time, they might warn their younger selves about what lay ahead. But maybe fate had other plans. Their first meeting was brief. Diana later described Charles as looking sad and distant, and while she didn't know much about him then, something clicked between them. For Charles, it was a time of loss, still heartbroken from the end of his relationship with Sarah and grieving his mentor, Lord Mountbatten. Diana's sympathy drew him in, and soon after, their romance began to bloom at a barbecue, where Charles made a bold move and kissed her. From that moment, their now famous relationship took off. Though they spent little time together due to Charles's packed schedule, things moved surprisingly fast. After only 13 dates, Charles proposed, and Diana, after some thought, accepted. She was thrilled at the idea of joining the royal family. If only she'd known what awaited her. Want to know what happened next? Keep watching. Their engagement was announced to the world in 1981, and the public quickly fell in love with Diana, the young, beautiful woman who seemed destined to be the perfect queen. Everyone was rooting for what looked like a fairy tale romance. But in their very first engagement interview, subtle cracks began to show. When asked about their feelings, Diana confidently said they were in love. Charles, however, gave a vague, unsettling response. Whatever love means. This comment left Diana visibly confused and offered her an early glimpse of the complexities that lay ahead. The royal wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana on July 29, 1981 at St. Paul's Cathedral was nothing short of historic, watched by an estimated 750 million people around the globe. Diana's wedding dress, designed by David and Elizabeth Emanuel, instantly became iconic, with its 25-foot train and delicate lacework capturing the hearts of millions. The world was entranced by the love story of a prince and his princess, so invested in their happiness that any hint of trouble would feel like a shock. Meanwhile, whispers circled around Lady Sarah, Diana's older sister, who had once dated Charles herself. Although Sarah publicly supported Diana and claimed credit for introducing the pair, rumors suggested there may have been feelings of jealousy or regret beneath her support. To protect Diana's happiness, Sarah made a tough choice. She could have sought the same spotlight, but instead she chose a quieter, private life to let her sister shine. As Diana rose to prominence, she showed the world just how impactful a member of the royal family could be. Once an ordinary aristocrat, she became an icon of compassion and social change, using her status to champion humanitarian causes. Diana's legacy as a philanthropist endures, especially in her work on issues like HIV/AIDS, leprosy, and anti-personnel landmines. Her first major initiative as a royal was to combat the stigma around AIDS. In the 1980s, AIDS was widely misunderstood, and those affected were often isolated and judged harshly by society. But in 1987, Diana made headlines by doing something powerful. She openly touched AIDS patients. This simple, compassionate act defied public fears. helping to break down misconceptions and urging society to treat those affected with empathy. Diana became a patron of the National AIDS Trust and frequently visited the London Lighthouse, a support center for HIV/AIDS patients. Her dedication brought global recognition, and in 1997, she met Nelson Mandela to discuss supporting children and families affected by HIV/AIDS, further solidifying her role as a humanitarian. Diana's influence was undeniable. She changed lives, raised awareness, and showed the world the royal family's power to impact positive change. Please comment yes if you support her. One reason Diana remains so beloved today is her dedication to humanitarian causes. As a patron of the British Red Cross and an advocate for the Halo Trust, she brought critical attention to the issue of landmines. In 1997, she famously walked through an active minefield in Angola, wearing protective gear to raise awareness. This powerful gesture turned the world's focus to the deadly legacy of landmines and helped influence the signing of the Ottawa Treaty, which banned anti-personnel mines. Diana was equally committed to fighting the stigma surrounding leprosy. As patron of the leprosy mission starting in 1989, she visited hospitals worldwide and showed her compassion by physically touching those affected, countering societal fears and bringing humanity back into care for these patients. Her simple, powerful actions brought global awareness to both the diseases and the individuals suffering from them. And she didn't stop there. Diana also set her sights on eradicating cancer. With her influence as the president of the Royal Marsden NHS Foundation Trust, she helped launch and support cancer charities, including Children with Cancer UK, using her platform to promote life-changing research. Diana's strength was often reinforced by her sister, Lady Sarah, who encouraged her to keep pushing forward and believe in her ability to change the world. Inspired by Sarah's support, Diana continued her journey, showing the world the true power of compassion. The unraveling began in 1993 when a private phone call from 1989 between Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles leaked, exposing their intimate relationship. Known as Camillagate or Tampongate, the scandal shocked the world as the call revealed Charles making a rather surprising remark, expressing his wish to live inside Camilla's trousers. This unfiltered glimpse into his private life severely damaged his reputation and the public's perception of the royal family. Under intense pressure, Charles admitted in a 1994 televised interview with Jonathan Dimbleby that he had been unfaithful, though he claimed it was only after his marriage to Diana had irretrievably broken down. While he didn't name Camilla directly, his words left little doubt. Then, in her own 1995 BBC interview, Diana famously remarked, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." With that statement, she boldly made it clear that she was no longer holding back. She wasn't Princess Diana because of Charles. She was the People's Princess, a title the public had given her. As public support rallied behind Diana, the royal family faced mounting scrutiny. Eventually, Queen Elizabeth stepped in, leading to the couple's official separation in 1992 and their divorce in 1996. Diana lost her title of Her Royal Highness, but she gained something more valuable: her freedom. She dedicated herself to raising her 2 sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, agreeing to co-parent with Charles while reclaiming her life and legacy. Just when Diana thought she'd finally escaped the pressures of royal life and could start living for herself, tragedy struck, plunging the world into mourning. Seeking a little joy, she accepted an invitation to vacation on a friend's yacht, where she met Dodi Fayed. The two instantly clicked and soon became close. But before they could publicly embrace their romance, fate took a tragic turn. On August 31st, 1997, Diana and Dodi's car crashed in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris. Their driver, Henry Paul, was speeding to evade relentless paparazzi. When the car struck a tunnel pillar, Dodi and Paul were killed instantly. while Diana sustained severe injuries. She fought for her life, but at 6 a.m. the following morning, she succumbed to her wounds. Her sudden death sent shockwaves around the globe. Please comment with a red heart icon if you respect her. After Princess Diana's tragic death on August 31, 1997, the world was engulfed in mourning, with millions grieving the loss of the people's princess. Her funeral, watched by billions, became a defining moment of public sorrow, marked by Elton John's emotional tribute and her brother Earl Spencer's powerful eulogy. The unprecedented outpouring of grief pressured the British monarchy to respond, leading to Queen Elizabeth II's rare televised speech, honoring Diana's impact. Her humanitarian legacy endured through continued support for causes she championed, while her sons, Princes William and Harry, carried forward her compassionate approach to charity and public service. In the years since, Diana's influence has reshaped the royal family's relationship with the public and sparked lasting discussions on media ethics, privacy, and modern monarchy. Prince Charles, along with Diana's sisters, Lady Sarah McCorquodale and Jane Fellows, traveled to Paris to bring her home. At her funeral, Sarah's heartfelt farewell speech moved everyone to tears, marking the end of Diana's remarkable story. Yet, her death remains shrouded in mystery. One of Dodi's bodyguards, who survived the crash, claims amnesia, and questions linger about the driver's condition that night. These unanswered details have fueled endless theories about what really happened. So, what truly unfolded that night?